Hey, cousin, and welcome back to another episode of the Finesse and Failure podcast. Now, you know I saved you a seat at the spades table because I could not let you miss the episode that'll change your life financially. Everything else gonna be the same. So, episode 3 is gonna be about supplier sourcing and management. Now, if y'all don't know, we have been doing an entire season on e-commerce, online business, drop shipping style. Now, supplier sourcing and management has to be, I'd say every moving part of drop shipping is important, but it is. And this is another really important part because picking the right supplier can be either the blessing you need or the curse you didn't. And let me tell you why. I have gone through it where I've been building traffic to my website and getting orders in, and I love getting orders in. I love hearing that Shopify ding. I love people loving my website, loving my content. And then when the customer gets the product, it's not at all what I promised them it would be. We're going to talk about vetting your suppliers, where you can find good suppliers, and some of the criteria you need to be checking off when going over suppliers and not just picking the cheapest price. I'm going to tell you right now, if it's cheap, that might be a good thing, but there are a lot of things you need to check off before you just say, hey, this is the supplier I want to use. Okay? Also, you always want to have some type of backup supplier. So if y'all are ready, let's get into supplier source and management. Let's do it. Now, picture this, 2018. I just opened my first e-commerce store. I was doing drop shipping. Someone taught me how to do like the basics of it, right? But I didn't do a lot of research. I just started doing stuff. And I threw one of those rose teddy bears up on my website. Hopefully I can put it over here for you guys. I threw those rose teddy bears on my website, and it was just a plain regular website. But crazy enough, I had people ordering them. So I contacted the supplier, got my orders, put in. Orders were supposed to be shipped out within 2 days, getting to the customer within 5 days, so about a week, which was actually really good timing back then, right? And it was a luxury item that you couldn't go and buy in the store. So of course people were going to wait for it, right? My pricing was good. I was making like a $30 profit off of the bear, which was great, but the customers weren't getting their bears within the 7 days. Now, I reached out to my supplier at the time, like, hey, just checking in on order number, let's just say 1234. He has not received the item yet. Can you give me the tracking number? When will it arrive? Now, this is before I knew everything that I know now, and I had to go through those mistakes. But let me tell you, the supplier didn't message me back for about 12 to 13 hours because of the time difference, for one. But two, they were really bad with communication. And that's not something that I was looking for or knew I should be looking for from the jump in order to vet my suppliers. So with that being said, lesson learned. But in the end, my customers got their bears, but it was like 15 to 25 days later. My shipping time went from 7 days to 25 days. That's almost a month. I had chargebacks that I had to pay, which was crazy because I didn't get in this business to pay chargebacks. I got in this business to make money, not chargebacks. Like, come on, what? And then I also had to still pay my supplier. Everybody was getting money but me. My customers were getting their money back because it wasn't fair that they had to pay for this shipping price that they thought, and the bears weren't getting to them in time. Like that, as a owner, that is on me. I should have under promised. I should have told them it could be X, Y, and Z amount of days. You need to pick the right suppliers. Okay. All right. So you're going to say, well, Courtney, how can I even find a supplier? Easy. Y'all go on AliExpress to order wigs all the time. Y'all go on AliExpress to order stuff all the time. Y'all go on TikTok Shop to order stuff all the time. Y'all go on Amazon to order stuff all the time. So all you have to do is, instead of clicking this bottle of water, there is a name underneath everything that they sell. Click the name, look at the supplier. You can even do supplier searches. Now, Amazon, Alibaba, AliExpress, and ThomasNet are really, really good about vetting their suppliers. Only the top of the top suppliers are going to pop up on the first page. So you can even filter your search results for people that are in the United States or have the fastest shipping times. You can filter it by price of the item, by how many years they've been open. You can filter it by all of these things. I have come up with a list of 3 things that you guys need to make sure that you look at before you choose a supplier for your business and a backup supplier. So the first thing you need to look at is the years of service. How many years of service is this company or has this company been in? If it is anything under a year to 2 years, let it go. They have not been in business long enough for you to be putting your business on them. Okay? Number 2, reviews. People don't lie. And if you go on AliExpress, Alibaba, Amazon, there are photos that are attached to the reviews. Look at the products. Look at what they're saying. Do you want those kind of reviews on your website? If it's a yes, that's your supplier. If it is a no, go to somewhere else. There is going to be 1,000 suppliers that sell that same product you're looking for. Do not settle with the first 1, 5, 10 suppliers that you find. Okay? And then the last thing is, once you find a couple of suppliers that have the product you want, they have good reviews, they've been in business for 3 or more years, you want to look at communication. Now, on AliExpress and Alibaba, they rate communication as well with their on their vendor profile. Now, if you look at communication and it says 75%, that's slim, because you need someone that's communicative with you. Even if it's you doing it off those apps and doing it on WhatsApp, you need someone that's going to communicate with you about your orders, about money, about, customer experience, about returns and refunds. You need communication. And if they can't even do the bare minimum of communicate, they don't deserve your business. So knock it down to those 3 things: years of service, reviews, and communication. You can also test communication by starting a dialogue with them, starting a message. Hey, I'm a dropshipper from X, Y, and Z. I'm looking at your product catalog. I am interested in dropshipping, these 3 products. And you can drop the product title, name, or photo in there, and wait for them to respond, and then start asking them questions and see how soon they respond, how quick they respond. I've had messages get sent and they don't respond for 4 and 5 days. But I've also had messages that I've sent that have gotten responses in 5 to 10 minutes. So that is the kind of communication I look for quickly. I don't leave it up to chance, because that is my business. This is how I make my money. So if I'm going to try and make money with you, you can communicate with me and I can communicate with you and we can work together. It's going to be a money-making machine. Okay? The last thing I want to talk to you guys about is shipping times. Most likely, when you pick a supplier based on the years of experience with the reviews and great communication, their shipping times aren't going to be crazy. Like, they're not going to be offering you 45 to 60-day shipping times, but they will be offering you different shipping options, and you can choose based on the price point you want your product. So if your product is $2, but to get shipping from 2 to 5 business days is $28, your product is now $30. Can you sell that product for at least $45 to $50? If you can, that is the product, that is your supplier, that is your shipping time. You also have to take into account that mail can be delayed. So with that being said, take all of those things into account. Shipping times being something that you also look at. Okay? So now we're going to go into negotiating with your suppliers. Now, I think that negotiating with your suppliers should be something that experts do. And the only reason I think that is because sometimes when you're first starting off, they're not going to want to negotiate with their prices, because that is the lowest amount of profit that they can take for selling maybe 25 to 50 items, a month. But if you have proven you have a good track record and you're good with selling products and you're getting out thousands of products at a time, yes, you might want to go back and renegotiate with your supplier to get a better profit margin for yourself, because you're moving more of their products than they're moving. And if you're moving more product than they're moving, you need to be getting more profit. Simple and plain. So, but you definitely need to make sure you build a rapport with your suppliers. You want to make sure that you know how to talk to them. You know what their expectations are. They understand what your expectations are, and build a genuine relationship with them. People who have relationships with suppliers last longer in business. Okay? Okay. Now, I'm not going to go over the negotiation tactics mostly because I've only had to do it one time, and we did a contract situation, and that was that. But contract situation, I started off the relationship asking for a contract because I didn't want prices to increase or go up while I was trying to get the business off of the ground. So pretty much what I did was I just said, hey, my name is, I'm trying to sell. I have a prediction or estimate that I will be selling 50 of these products a week. So that's about 200 products a month. I would like to have this pricing. Are you able to go this low? They did say they were able to go that low. I was grateful for it. I sent them a contract saying that this price would be good for 6 full months, and we would renegotiate the contract at a later date and time before the contract ended. And that worked out well for us. I ended up not hitting the 200 orders a month, I think 1 or 2 months. I was right underneath it. I was in like the hundreds, but they still, with the contract, said, we signed the contract, so I can't go back on the pricing. I can't up the pricing because, whatever. It was an estimate. It wasn't guaranteed. Both sides, me and them, both understood that. So with that being said, the next thing we're going to talk about is managing the relationship. Once you find a supplier, you vet that supplier, you order your samples. Y'all are like this. Y'all besties. Y'all good, right? You need to learn how to start managing that supplier. You need to learn how to manage that supplier. Regular communication. You want to do check-ins with your suppliers. What is your inventory level at right now? Are you guys, ready for, let's just say y'all have some type of big event coming up and it's some type of sale. Do you have at least X, Y, and Z amount of inventory backed up for this sale? Just constantly checking in and making sure that the inventory is good and they're not having any issues on their end, shipping wise, inventory level wise, quality wise, anything like that. Problem resolution. I always ask about these things up front, when I do my first little spiel and we start talking and going back and forth about pricing and product and, ordering and drop shipping and everything like that. I like to ask them, what is your policy, or do you have a policy on refunds and returns? That is important to me because I'm trying to give my customer the best service possible. Customers who think that you care, return. So I need to know what type of return policy and refund policy that you have in place for these products. I've had suppliers say, no returns, no refunds, but I've also had suppliers say, hey, it got to them damaged. All they need is a picture and, a message. It's not working, it's not functional, and they will either send a new product to them or they will issue a refund for the product for free. So it's all about the suppliers that you choose, and it's all about the policies that you try to negotiate with them as far as returns and refunds. If you know that you don't have or you don't accept refunds, you need to put that on your website. That is something that needs to be put on your website, and it needs to be communicated several times throughout the customer's buying journey that you don't accept refunds. So it's not a surprise when it happens. I said don't accept returns, not refunds, and there are no refunds. The next thing is diversification. So this part is really just about having more than just one supplier, because let's say that the supplier that you've been working with for like the last 3 months is not answering your messages anymore. Their store got shut down. You have pending orders and you have no clue who you're going to have send out your orders. You should always have at minimum 1 backup supplier, 2 just in case. Now, these prices are going to vary, so you want to make sure that you check in with your other suppliers about their pricing, their return rates, refunds, etc. You're building 3 relationships, but you are mainly using 1 supplier, but you want to make sure that you have more than 1 supplier in your back pocket for that just in case. Okay? There are just in case times. Please make sure that you diversify your suppliers and that you vet them. Not just pick a supplier because they're the cheapest out of the other 2. Okay? I've been telling you guys that I'm doing all of these podcast episodes live, and that if you guys are wanting to pay attention to my Instagram, my TikTok, or my YouTube channel, you never know when I'm going to be doing a live podcast episode, but I want you guys to join me and drop down any questions that you may have about anything I went over, or just drop shipping in general. And I'll even be doing a commonly asked question podcast episode just for you guys and all of the questions that I've been getting in the past like couple of months that I haven't answered or haven't gotten around to answering. But this is what I want you guys to take from this episode. If y'all took nothing else, you need to pick your suppliers carefully. You need to go through the 4 critical requirements for your suppliers, and don't waver on any of them. The last thing I want you guys to take from this is things do happen. And they happen to everybody. And if it happened to me, it can happen to you. So you want to make sure that you are prepared and you are knowledgeable before you select a supplier, after you select a supplier, and you keep in communication with that supplier. Okay? All right. Well, thank you guys for pulling up to the cookout. I hope that y'all's seat to the spades table was worth the wait. And I really hope to see you guys in our next episode of this whole entire series of dropshipping for beginners. I love y'all down, and I'll see y'all at the next cookout. Bye.